Now let's see another couple, Sedge and Diego, who reach a mansion on the banks of a deserted lake to spend the weekend which they have rented. Diego wants to spend a romantic weekend with Sedge before starting his new novel, so that both of them can remove the distances in their relationship and make their love strong again. In the beginning, Diego stands in front of Sedge without clothes and starts joking. "Why don't we spend our whole weekend like this?" Sedge also starts joking with Diego. Then both of them share a private moment. But the next moment, they are surprised when another couple, Will and Sin, also reach the same mansion. They tell that they also booked the same mansion for this weekend. The situation becomes a little strange and unusual, but when they realize that the mansion has been double booked by mistake, Sin suggests that they can share this mansion. And if Sedge and Diego feel uncomfortable, they will leave. Sedge and Diego agree. The four of them start spending time near the lake. During the conversation, Will tells a scary story about the lake. The name of this lake is Bone Lake because many years ago, there was a heap of pebbles in its depth. It is said that in the 1950s, an unknown serial killer used to throw the bodies of his victims in this lake. Gradually, Sedge and Sin open up to each other. Sin tells that she and Will have been in a relationship for the past 8 years and have known each other since childhood. But her family members never liked their relationship. Meanwhile, when Will finds out that Diego is going to propose to Sedge from his grandmother's wedding ring this weekend, he encourages her and says, "I am sure Sedge will say yes to you." During lunch, Sin also says with a smile that she knows Diego's favorite writer. That's why she can help Diego in his work. Gradually, the four of them become good friends. And celebrating this new friendship, they start kissing in front of Will, Sin, Sedge, and Diego, due to which Sedge gets carried away in her emotions and later satisfies herself with a shower head in the bathroom. But Diego sees her doing this and says with a smile, "Can I help you?" But Sedge refuses, as if she is not satisfied with Diego. Meanwhile, Sin comes to Diego with a towel wrapped around her and asks him for help in finding her clothes. She says, "I forgot my glasses somewhere. That's why I can't see anything properly." First, she seems normal, but in a while, her behavior becomes more flirting, to the extent that Sin goes back and drops her towel, due to which Diego becomes uncomfortable and leaves the room without saying anything. But later, Sin cleverly tells the same thing to Sedge that Diego had seen her without a towel. And she says all this in such a way as if she is deliberately trying to create a misunderstanding between Sedge and Diego. Although this does not affect their relationship right now, but Sedge and Diego do have an anxiety in their minds. They start thinking that there is a strange vibe between Sin and Will. They start thinking that they should have spent their weekend far away from these strangers. As night falls, Will and Sin give a strange suggestion. "Why don't we all open the locked rooms of this house?" Which seem mysterious from the beginning. Between curiosity and excitement, Will shows his cleverness and starts opening the locks of those rooms one by one. As soon as he enters the first room, everyone is shocked and nervous, because there is a sex swing and all kinds of sex toys are kept there. Diego says that we should not use all this, and tells everyone to go to the next room. But the next room proves to be even more scary. There he sees a Ouija board, and there are news cuttings about the owners of this house on the wall, in which it is written that 15 years ago, their whole family had suddenly disappeared. Everyone becomes restless and they leave the last room without opening the door. The next morning, when Sedge goes out for a walk, he suddenly sees Will, who is bathing outside completely without clothes. Sedge becomes a little uncomfortable, but Will says with a smile, "I like to live like this in the middle of nature," as if he is also trying to attract Sedge towards him, but Sedge leaves from there. After a while, during breakfast, Will again surprises everyone with his behavior. He suddenly takes out Diego's grandmother's ring and proposes to his partner, Sin. Sedge also likes his way of proposing, but he does not know that Diego was actually planning this ring and this proposal for him. Diego gets angry by taking Will alone. "What did you do? That ring belonged to my grandmother. I was going to propose to Sedge with it." Will apologizes to him and says that Sin is cheating me. "That's why I thought that if I propose to Sin like this, then maybe our relationship will be saved." And he starts pretending to be sad. So, In his emotions, Diego also shares his heartache with him and says, "In the beginning of our relationship, Sedge also cheated me. And I slept with my ex, so I can understand your situation." Will also promises to return Diego's ring before the weekend ends. After that, they all plan to get some important groceries for the weekend, and Will leaves with Sedge towards the town store. On the way, he again teases the conversation between Sin and Diego, and in the conversation, he again tries to create a misunderstanding between the two. Not only this, Will also lies that Diego saw you satisfying yourself with a showerhead, and now he is afraid that maybe you are not being sexually satisfied with him. Sedge is surprised to hear this from him. She does not understand how Diego can tell Will all this. But then Will himself starts trying to get closer to him. On the other hand, in the absence of Sin and Sedge at home, Diego starts walking alone. First, she starts talking sweetly and provokes him against Sedge. Then she starts flirting with him, as if she wants to trap Diego completely. This is revealed in a flashback that this is actually Will and Sin's mansion, and they had planned everything a day before Sedge and Diego's arrival. On returning, Sedge almost gets trapped in their trap, and Diego gets angry and sad. When Diego gets angry, Sin comes to him and suggests him to take Mowgli to lighten the mood. At first, Sedge hesitates a little, but then she takes Mowgli and swings in the effect of both drugs and leaves for the lake. Suddenly, it starts raining. Both get drenched in the rain and get into the lake. But here Sedge suspects that Sin can also see clearly without glasses, meaning maybe she had lied to Diego and trapped him in her talks. Without Sedge's return, Diego also gets worried and goes out to look for her, but Sedge doesn't find her there. When he asks Sin, she also tells him, maybe she is somewhere here. I don't know. Afraid, he returns home and finds Sedge inside. Sedge wants to explain something to him, but then both of them completely get trapped in their trap and start suspecting each other. Their argument and anger starts increasing, but outside the room, Will and Sin are smiling after hearing their argument, as if this is what they wanted to see. But then Diego opens the door and says in a scared tone that Sedge ran away from home in anger, and asks Will and Sin to help him find Sedge. So Will and Sin leave immediately, but the truth is that Sedge is hidden inside. She tells Diego that I only pretended to be drunk, because I already had a doubt that Will and Sin were trying to distance themselves from each other. Diego also says I also feel the same. Will and Sin have also stolen their car keys. Diego tries to explain this to Sedge. I only told Will about your affair. I never told him about the Chauvray. Now both of them understand that Will and Sin are keeping an eye on them from the cameras. Both of them finally gather their courage and break the lock of the locked room, in which they could not dare to go earlier. As soon as they step inside, both of them are shocked. There is a camera surveillance system installed in the whole room. Every action of them is being recorded in every corner. There are already pictures of Sedge and Diego kept there, and along with them, there are also photos of many unknown couples, who may have been victims here before them. There they get many tapes, in which not only there, but also the private moments of those old couples are recorded. There they also watch the video of Sedge's bathroom. That's when Sedge sees an old picture, in which Will and Sin are standing in front of this house. Now everything becomes clear that this mansion belongs to both of them. At the same time, Will and Sin also come to the room and tell their real truth, that all this is just our game, which we play with couples, so that couples can prove their love for each other. Sedge and Diego get angry and scream, "We don't want to play your game. We are fine the way we are. We just have to get out of here." Diego asks Will for the car key, so Will and Sin also give him the car key without any hesitation and let him go. But the game is not over yet. As soon as Sedge and Diego start getting out of the car, Will suddenly comes in front and tells Diego, "When we were out, I had sex with Sedge," and again tries to create a misunderstanding in Diego's mind. But Sedge denies this, and makes Diego believe that I haven't done anything like this. So Diego also believes him and tries to reverse the car. But that's when Sin hits him hard with her car and makes him unconscious. When he comes to his senses, Sedge and Diego find themselves tied to the duct tape in the living room. Their Will and Sin tell him their real identity. Their real names are Thomas and Alice Price, and they are actually siblings. Sedge and Diego are shocked. Then Thomas and Alice tell him that when they were teenagers, a relationship started between them which is called World Sin, for which our parents beat us badly. But we killed them, and proved that our love is bigger than any rule. Since then, we call other couples here and mislead them. We check how strong their relationship is, and when they fail, we kill them too. Diego and Sedge somehow break their duct tapes and try to escape from there. That's when Sin starts attacking Sedge with a knife. But Sedge quickly picks up a piece of glass and attacks him. Sin's face is badly cut by the attack. Seeing this, Will goes mad with anger and chases Sedge. Sedge picks up an axe to save himself. Will stands in front of him and challenges him. "If you have the courage, hit the axe on my head," and cleverly snatches the axe from him. But Sedge somehow manages to escape again. Meanwhile, despite being injured, Sin attacks Diego and stabs him in the leg. To save himself, Diego also attacks Sin hard and escapes from there, and hides under the boat dock and throws a fire poker at Sin's feet. Sin gets trapped there and screams. Will now takes a chainsaw and attacks Diego, but Sedge comes from behind, and with all his courage, attacks Will with an axe. Will falls on his own chainsaw, and in a moment his body shatters into pieces. Sedge and Diego quickly run to the shore and sit in a boat. But then Sin also reaches there and tries to attack. Diego cuts his fingers with an axe in anger, and then attacks his jaw with all his strength, with which his jaw almost separates. Sin falls into the water screaming in pain, and then Sedge reverses the boat, due to which Sin's body also gets trapped in the propeller and shatters. And finally, both of them succeed in strengthening their relationship. After a while, in the middle of the lake, on the boat, Diego takes out his grandmother's ring from Sin's cut finger, and lovingly puts it on Sedge's finger and proposes to her. Sedge also accepts his proposal with a slight smile. Both of them start laughing loudly at each other, and then suddenly, there is silence all around. With this, the movie ends here. I hope you liked the story. If you liked the story, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.